Hi everyone, and welcome back to Berry Patch Lifestyle. My name is Tracy, and this is day 15 of Beginner Foundations of Yoga. So we are going to be working on some balancing postures today. We are not going to do a warm-up. You might find some of these a little bit challenging, but please remember to adjust for yourself. If you need some kind of a prop, if you need a chair to lean on, please make sure you get that now. Just pause and then come on back. We're gonna do tree, extended hand to big toe. We're going to do dancer, chair, and eagle. Eagle happens to be my very favorite. Not so for many people, but for me it is. All right, so we're not gonna do a warm up today. We're gonna hop right into the balancing postures. What we would do, like in every other case, is really find our foundation. So we'll just find that first on both feet. We'll check the area behind the big toe, behind the baby toe, and at the heel, and really ground down to make sure we have a nice footing, make sure we have our balance. Shoulders, as always, are back and down, like so. Chin is tucked, crown is shining forward, pelvis is tucked ever so slightly, not lots, but just a little tiny bit. And then we have a micro bend in our knees. Now for the first one we're going to do is tree. We're going to start shifting our weight. So right now our weight should be evenly balanced. We're going to shift our weight into our left foot. And we're just going to still feel those areas I was talking about, and we're going to slowly think about picking up our right foot. When you're doing a tree pose, a lot of people can just pop right in and lift their leg up and then, get their arms up in the air. It's okay if you can't do that. So you're going to want to make sure that you have your balance first and then pick up your toes. You can leave your toes right against, actually leave your toe on the ground if you want. Just kind of rest your heel against your leg, or you can have your foot resting on your calf. You can bring it to the inside of your leg, like so. And what you want to remember here is this foot, that's not my foot, that's my foot, is pushing into my leg, but this leg is nice and sturdy and strong. You can see I have a little bit of a weeble. But they're pushing against each other. It's not just one pushing one way. So we should try to keep it nice and strong in the middle. And then we're trying to open up this hip, okay? So if that's where your tree is, just stay there. If not, and you wanna try this, you can put your foot kind of in the crease of your hip, right there. Your knee is gonna start to point down. Now it's a different kind of thing because you have to push your back into this foot. So this part of your thigh is getting pushed in, but also you have to keep your back moving forward, okay? Hands are gonna be at heart center if you choose. You can have them down for now if you like. I'm gonna move back to this posture right here, this form of the posture. So I'm gonna always have my hands at heart center in tree. You can have them wherever you choose. You can have them behind your back if you want. And normally, what I say is we're gonna have a couple of breaths here and then grow the tree. So I spread my fingers out. Whenever you're moving in a balancing posture, it always is a little bit more challenging. What you might need to do, like I'm focusing on my camera right now, you might want to find a spot on the ground that's not moving. So if you have somebody in the room with you, don't focus on them because they might fall over. Focus on a spot on the ground and then move your arms up. And then we'll breathe here. Shoulders are down, not creeping up towards the ears. And then when we come out of it, we'll bring our hands down first. Try not to fall out, but let your leg come out naturally with a little teeter, and then place it down on the ground. Okay, so now we're gonna do, that leg took a lot of strain, so we might wanna shake that out a little bit. Now we're gonna have our right leg grounding down. Find the ground behind the big toe, behind the baby toe, and at the heel, and really kind of shift your weight into that foot, having your other foot, wherever you had it on the other side, we want to make sure we're even. So you're going to have it either on your shin, on the ground, on the inside of your leg. One is going to push against the other, or in the crease of your thigh, whichever you choose. I'm gonna say, if you're a beginner, it's probably not gonna make it to the crease of your thigh, but try it. What have you got to lose? You might fall out, not a big deal. So, I'm talking, balancing and talking, two things at one time. Finding my focal point on the ground. My hands are at heart center. And now we're going to grow this lovely tree. Opening the hip. Even making the smallest adjustments can cause you to fall out. If that happens, just pop back in. Normally we would hold it a little bit longer, but this is just a demo today for practice. So if you can stay here on your own when you're practicing and hold for 5 breaths, that's fantastic. If not, just keep practicing until you can get there. Okay, so tree pose. Hands are coming back down. And we try and pop out of that without the weeble this time. That's our tree. Where does yours grow? Okay, so the next one we're gonna do, some of these are a little bit more challenging. I always like to start on the left side so I know where I'm starting. I try not to alternate it too much. So left side, we're gonna ground down again. Sometimes when you're doing a tree pose, you can come straight into this one instead of putting your leg down. That would be really challenging. So because we're doing beginner stuff today, this is really even not a beginner posture, but we're gonna try it anyway. So I've got my knee at a 90 degree. I'm gonna take these 2 fingers, often called the peace fingers, and I'm gonna wrap them around my big toe. You can have this hand wrap around your back if you like. You can kind of see it poking out over here. And then you can straighten this leg, easier said than done, right out to the front. Ooh, all kinds of muscles are working here. You could also have this hand straight down if you like. And if you're feeling extra fancy, you can pop that out to the side. Whoop, maybe we can't pop that out to the side. Okay. Sometimes I would edit that out. I don't think I'm going to. I just want you to see what can actually happen. So now we're popping that out to the side. You see this one's coming up. Try and help counterbalance. And we're gonna bring it back to the front, bend it, and back down. So you see that I've done this, I don't know how many times, wouldn't dare to count or say I know how many, but I fall out sometimes too. Depends on the day, depends on what I've done, and it will be the same for you. Just practice. If you're like, hey, that looks crazy impossible, grab a chair, hang on to it, and try. You never know. So we're gonna ground down into that right foot. We're gonna pick up the left foot. These fingers. Big toe. Hand is wherever it was on the other side. I moved mine around a little bit. Straighten. Oh, the concentration that's going on right now. I'm gonna bring it up to the side now. Like I said, if you wanna hang on to a chair and do this, you can do that too. Okay, so come on out of that. That is an extended hand to big toe. Very technical. The next one we're gonna do is a dancer pose. Some people call it a dancing Shiva. So I'm gonna turn sideways. You can stay where you are. Probably you're already sideways on your mat. I'm gonna step forward with my left foot about, I don't know, just the length of my other foot really. Ground down into that left foot again. I'm gonna take my right hand and I'm gonna grab either the inside or the outside of my foot, my right foot. It depends on where you've taken yoga before. Some places will tell you, the inside. That's where I've always done it, so that's where I'm gonna do it today. So I'm hanging onto my foot. My hand I'm gonna place out in front of my face. You're gonna have it straight out in front of you like this, or like so. And I'm going to start to tilt forward. When I kind of feel like, yeah, that's about it for today, that leg can go up just a little bit higher. So your leg will come up naturally, but once you get to the point where you're tilting and you can't tilt anymore, then you can drive that the foot up just a little bit more. Again, if you have some balance issues here, you could be hanging onto a chair and remembering to breathe. Come on out of that. remembering to breathe through every posture. So I'm just going to turn the other way. Right foot is grounding down. I really just took a little tiny step. Making sure I have my balance. You don't want to kind of slap your foot into your hand and like try and go at it too quickly because you'll fall out for sure. So make sure I have my balance there. In the hip, micro bend in the knee. Left hand swims around to the left foot. Hand is just out in front or like so, whichever works better for you. And we're tilting. And we're tilting. And then that leg automatically goes up into the air. And let's breathe. So when you're doing this on your own, you can practice to see how many breaths you can actually take in this position. And then we're going to gently come on out of that. So that is the dancer pose. The next thing we're going to do is a chair, a balanced posture we've worked on before. We might as well do it again because it's going to lead us into another posture. So feet are right beside each other, grounding down. We're going to send our sits bones back. Again, as always, I say it all the time, you want to make sure that you can see your toes. You don't want your knees tracking out over your toes. So sits bones are back. These arms are going to go straight up and try to have your arm beside your ear. And try and straighten them as much as you can. So my arms are not always perfectly straight. Again, whatever your body can do, that's what you're doing on the day. So my eyes are kind of looking at an angle down to the floor. I'm not looking straight down and I'm not looking straight up. And we're sitting, so we're kind of changing our center of gravity, sending those sits bones back. So back like so, using our strong legs, arms are up by the ears. And we breathe. What might tend to happen is your shoulders want to come up like this. So you want those kind of pressed down, like so. Arms straight, chin is still tucked, center of gravity is back. I can 100% see my toes. Again, when you're working on that alone, you're going to want to see how many breaths you can take in that position. And our very last one for today is my favorite posture. Some people will do the arms first, some people will do the legs first. I think today we'll start with the arms. So grounding down into the feet. Now, there's two ways of doing this, or a couple ways of doing this, more than two, I'm supposing. Your arms are going to go out to a T, and you're going to take your left arm under your right, and you're going to kind of pretzel them together and try to make your palms touch. So I'm trying not to put this in front of my face. So you're going to make your palms touch, and you're going to try and lift your elbows so that where you really feel this is just behind your shoulder blades. So left under right, palms are touching, and you're sending your arms forward and up. So you're getting a really nice stretch across your back and across your shoulders. And if that's your eagle for today, that's really, really great. The other part of eagle is to sit your sits bones back, grounding down. We're going to ground into the right foot. We're going to pick up the left foot and cross it over the right, just like so. So your foot might go just beside your shin, or you might be able to tuck that toe. But the idea is we want to be able to sit down. Okay, so that's the two parts of eagle. So now we're going to put them all together. So arms out to the side, left under right, little adjustment. I'm going to sit back. I'm grounding into my right foot, picking up the left, and now I'm tucking my toes, just kind of peeking them out the other side, lifting my arms, sending them forward, smiling like crazy, breathing, release the arms, release the leg, and shake that all out, because that's really hard, especially if that was your first time. So again, say it again, try to see how many breaths you can take in that position. I'm gonna ground down into my left foot now. Arms are coming out to a T. Set those shoulders. The right comes under the left, palms together. Okay, we're gonna sit back. That right leg comes over the left. Tuck the toes if you can, or keep it beside, that's good too. Sitting back, arms come up, and push forward. Breathing. Feel any different on this side than the other? Let the arms go, come on back up, and give that all a shake. And that's it for today. Those are the postures for you to practice. I hope it all goes well for you, and I'll see you tomorrow.